Hello guys, welcome to Vysh News Update 11. So today the Chinese policy of three children, okay, that's in news. So we'll see what is like this one child policy, two child policy, three child policy they had over the years, and why suddenly now a three child policy, and whether Chinese population is actually happy with it. Okay, so we'll try to see what is the detailing. Actually, in a recent poll after this was announced, like asking, are you ready for the three child policy? Okay, in China this poll happened. About 29,000 of 31,000 respondents said that they would never think of it. Okay. While the remainder choose among the options, I am ready and very eager to do so. It's on my agenda. I am hesitating and there's a lot to consider. Okay, so this kind of results happened. Okay, when this poll was conducted after this three-child policy announcement. Okay, and one user even posted like, I'm willing to have three children if you give me 5 million yuan. Okay, which will be around $785,000. Okay, so the fact actually is till last year. Okay, fines of 130,000. Okay, 1,30,000 yuan. That is around $20,000 were being imposed on people for having a third child. Okay, so now the government is telling the reverse way. You have a three child or you have a third child. Okay, so people are reacting differently. The entire thing is because of the birth rate which goes up and down of China. So from 1979, when the one child policy was there, and in 2016 when the two child policy came, the birth rate is like going down. Okay, like people are okay with having one child or maybe less than two child. Okay, they are happy with that and they are now adjusted to that culture. Okay, so we'll see the entire detailing like what happened in during one child policy, two child policy, and three child policy, and the census. Okay, which came in this year, this month. That is why this sudden decision. The census released this month showed that around 12 million babies were born last year, a significant decrease from the 18 million in 2016. So the birth rate is going down, even though it is from one child to two child it was allowed, still it is going down. And the lowest number of births recorded since the 1960s. Okay, that is the reason China has now pushed it to the third child policy. Okay, so if you are watching our channel for the first time, please make sure that you hit subscribe because entire content is going to be free, and only with your support we can keep this free content alive. Okay, so before moving on, you should understand two terms, okay, which will be going on like in the news. Whenever you read about such kind of things, you will hear these two terms. One is demography and one is demographic dividend. So demography is the study of human population, their sizes, composition, distribution across space, and the process through which population changes, the birth, death, migration, everything. Okay, anything related to population that studies is called demography. But demography dividend, okay, which is much more important, okay, defined by the United Nations Population Fund, is the economic growth potential that can result from shift in a population's age structure. Okay, mainly when the share of the working age population is larger than the non-working age, meaning more youth is there. Okay, that means you have a better demographic dividend. Okay, so working population, that term also you should understand. Working population means it's like 15 to 64. Okay, as per the UN standards. So obviously 40 below 14 and below, and 65 and above, they are the remaining population. So this, if you have more population in the 15 to 64 range, that means you have a better demographic dividend, and that will be more useful for you in this coming century. Okay, so India has 62.5 of its population in the age group 15 to 59, meaning India has a huge, better, nice demographic dividend, okay, which is increasing also, and it will be at peak around 2036 when it will reach approximately 65%. That is why this skill India, digital India, all these kind of things are being done, and youth is being trained in different things. Okay, all these schemes are not just like that for the sake of launching schemes. It is announced. It is because every country like China or Japan or somewhere in the Eastern Asian side, they actually are running out of youth. Okay, they have older population which has to be taken care, pension has to be given, such things are there. But for India it is the reverse way. India have more youth population. That is why even Japan has introduced new schemes, if you know, like they are ready to train our youth. Okay, they are telling like, you send 4 lakh 5 lakh youth to Japan, we will train, we will give them job here, because they don't have much youth now. Okay, so that is a concern across the globe, and it's a very important topic. Now we'll start with the one child policy in 1980s. Okay, 1980s the Chinese one child policy came, which was enforced by the then leader. Okay, country's population at that time was approaching around 1 billion that time. Okay, implemented more effectively in the urban areas, and it was enforced through several means, including incentivizing families. Okay, like they'll tell, like they'll give you money if you have only one child, then making contraceptives widely available, imposing sanction against those who violated the policy. Then it helped avert severe food and water shortage by preventing up to 40 crore people from being born. Okay, by this policy they achieved this kind of number. However, the one child limit was also a source of discontent, as the state used brutal tactics such as forced abortions and sterilizations. It met criticism and remained controversial for violating human rights and for being unfair to poorer Chinese, since the rich ones could afford to pay economic sanctions if they violated. Okay, like they will like give some fine to you. So the urban population or the rich population, they could simply get away by just giving the fine. Okay, so it was the rural population who suffered. And one thing is the sex ratio, that is the male female ratio. So already the male female ratio almost in every country, every state where you take, males will be more than female. But because of this policy, what happened is the male female gap began to increase. If you see here and all, it's going on increasing by the 2000s. Okay, so more number of male is there and lesser number of female is there. So it was skewed towards males. Okay, this happened because of traditional preference for male children in the country, due to which abortion of female fetuses rose, and so did the number of girls who were placed in orphanages or abandoned. Okay, so they want a male child. So if it's a female fetus, it will be done away with, and then a male child, when it comes, that will be the one child, okay, or the two child which they have. They preferred male children. So that is the reason this kept on increasing. So which is again wrong for a nation. Okay, so Chinese population aged faster than other countries. Meanwhile, India and other Asian economy such as Indonesia, Philippines have younger populations. Okay, this is how the trend is going on now. Now 2016, what happened is the China introduced the two-child policy. That is just 5 years back, they introduced this thing. Actually, that time itself they should have done third child, third three-child policy. That is what experts are saying now. So when fears of a rapidly aging population undermining the economic growth forced the ruling Communist Party to allow 2 children per married couple. While the relaxation did result in some improvement in the proportion of young people in the country, the policy change was deemed insufficient in averting an impending demographic crisis. Okay, it was not up to the mark. It did little to arrest the rapid fall in population growth. The country's fertility rate was now dropped to 1.3. Okay, meaning like that much only. Like one female can give birth to only this much if you take an average. Okay, so far below the replacement level of 2.1 necessary for each generation to be fully replenished. So this is a factual thing which you can use. Okay, in your exams and all, you need at least 2.1 fertility rate if a generation has to be fully replenished. Okay, but China has very low because of their older policies. By 2025, the country is set to lose its most populous tag to India, which in 2020 had an estimated 138 crore people. Okay, India has this much, and now latest census will obviously come out, then you will know the real numbers. Okay, so it was that time behind China, and mostly it will cross China soon. And these are newspaper articles in 2018-19 time. Okay, China's two-child policy fails to tick as newborn numbers dip by 20 lakh in 2018. So it was not working. Okay, so now 2021 in May month, now the three-child policy has come. So this recent census data showed population growth slipping to its slowest rate since 1950s. Experts say relaxing limits on reproductive rights alone cannot go a long way in averting an unwanted demographic shift. The main factors behind few children being born, they say, are rising cost of living, education, and supporting aging parents. Okay, so it's not like just because the government had put sanctions, the cost of living there is high, the education is high, everything is high. Okay, so when you have more children, you cannot afford to now look after everyone. Okay, so that is also one reason. The problem is made worse by countries' pervasive culture of long working hours. You know, Chinese, Japan and all, they have this long working culture also. So their life is already like out of balance. Okay, there has also been a cultural shift during the decades in which the one-child policy remained in force, with many couples believing that one child is enough and some expressing no interest in having children. Okay, so they are now used to this. They are okay with one child. They are taking care of that child, and that child will next take care of their parents when they grow old. So they are now used to that complete system. Okay, the Chinese government, however, has said that the new policy will come with supportive measures, which will be conducive to improving our country's population structure, fulfilling the country's strategy of actively coping with an aging population, and maintaining the advantage endowment of human resources. Meaning, people, as you saw in the poll result, they are not okay with this three-child and they don't want it now. Okay, so they are telling you don't worry about the other things like high education cost and all these things. It will come with more supportive features. Okay, like China will lower the educational cost for families, set up tax and housing support, guarantee the legal interest of working women, and clamp down this dowry system. Then without specifics, all these things are told, and it would also look to educate younger people on marriage and love. So this kind of steps also will be there because they are desperately trying to increase the birth rate and improve their demographic dividend. Okay, so this is the three policies which happened over the year. Now experts, if you see, a fully liberalized birth policy should have been implemented at least 5 years ago. Okay, but it's too late now, although it is better late than never. Opening it up to 3 children is far from enough. It should be fully liberalized, and giving birth should be strongly encouraged. Okay, generations of Chinese people have lived without siblings and are used to small families. Affluence, okay, meaning if you are wealthy, rich, prosperous, then they actually don't need this multiple children system now. Okay, young professionals say that they would rather give one child more advantages than spread their income among several kids. So this is what most of the people believe. Okay, the poll result is telling like that. So this is the update. Hope it was clear. The entire thing I have tried to tell within 10 minutes, and we are trying to make all our videos now below 10 minutes as per request of students. So see to it that you like, subscribe and share, and keep this free content alive. Okay, so I'll come with a new topic tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day.